Joining us right now from the Montreal Impact, Canadian Kyle Bekker. Kyle, welcome again, my friend.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Pleasure's all mine. Kyle, let's talk about this red-hot start your squad has been having. I mean, Ignacio Piatti has been unbelievable. It's got to be a joy to play with him, also train and learn from this guy. Let's talk about the start, and then let's talk about Piatti, the way he has played early on.
Yeah, it's been a great start to the season. I mean, obviously it was big kicking off in Vancouver with a massive away win, and then I think we've just kind of kicked on since then. So yeah, everyone's in good spirits right now, and been a good start.
Piatti has been unbelievable, Kyle. Unbelievable goals he scored early on. This guy, to me, is the real deal. The price of admission. He has just elevated his game much, much more this year than I remember watching him last year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's a fantastic player. It's obviously nice to play with a player like that, and he's been he's been on some sort of streak right now. He's definitely he's getting the end product for us, which is fantastic. So seeing him putting up goals is always nice.
Kyle, there seems to me a difference with this team this year and yourself, and I'm going to use this analogy that's been going through my mind the last few times I've watched your team play. It seems like you as a player, first and foremost, and also the whole team, have a chip on their shoulder, a positive swagger, a leadership in many of the players on this team that is really showing that this team needs to be considered as an MLS finalist and a winner of it all. Am I off on that?
I don't know. I mean, it's still very early, but I think I think we have a good attitude this year, and I mean the depth in our squad is definitely something that we have as an advantage. I mean, everyone's been playing well, and that allows players like Nacho and Didier to come in when they can contribute, kind of give some pressure off them. You know, if everyone else is playing well, it frees them up to allow them to do what they can do, and so far it's been going well. I mean, everyone's kind of come in and stepped up when they had to. So.
You know, Kyle, Didier Drogba, we know what he is, a world-class player, a world-class individual on and off the field. But it seems to me in the training sessions that I've seen, this guy commands the respect from each and every teammate because he is a leader. He's very serious when he's training, very serious in a game day, and it really rubs off on the rest of the team. Talk about this guy as a person away from the pitch, but then as the leader on the field.
Yeah, I think that's just coming from the club. I mean, from the top down, it's sort of the environment that they've set up at the club. So when everyone comes in, it's serious, and we got to do some work. And then obviously, when you have a player like that buying into it, it helps everything else. You know, so it's been great. I mean, attitude as the whole team in training has been phenomenal. I think that's what's kind of given us the results on the field, and hopefully we can get another big result this weekend and keep pushing.
Well, let's talk about that 4-1 derby. It is going to be a massive match for both teams early on. A lot of wounds that TFC fans and the players are still licking from that playoff loss, but the Montreal Impact are not concerned about last year. They want to make sure that they go a lot further this year. Let's talk about that. What has your coaching staff said early on in training today or yesterday that you need to focus on? We know Jovinko. We know that you're going to focus in on him, Bradley, but what other pieces have they alerted you to be careful of?
I think obviously everyone knows it's important. It's a big one for the fans, you know, being the derby and all that. And obviously, if we can get another result like last season, that'll be special. But I think for the most part, we're just treating it as any other game. And I think if we go in with that mentality, I think everyone will be positive and use our last results to push us on. But as of right now, we're sort of just treating it like any other game, and obviously need to be focused and stay sharp and just use our momentum, and hopefully they need to worry about us.
Kyle, you've played in Toronto. Now you're playing in Montreal. You've traveled all over North America with MLS teams, and you've seen the crowds in different places. Orlando has been unbelievable. Kyle Larin down there, Richie Laria. It is an unbelievable atmosphere. The Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Vancouver, Portland is fantastic. But I got to think, now you've played in the two biggest cities in Canada, Toronto, Montreal. They can rival anyone in MLS for fan support, for coverage, on and on. I think it's fantastic. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, my short time here in Montreal so far, the fans have been unbelievable. I think it's very much a sports city, and the fans sort of demand the performances. So it's obviously nice when we have their support, and they always come out and make sure they're heard. So it's definitely nice to play in front of them.
What's a part of your game going into this season that you really wanted to make sure that you got better and better as each and every time you went out there? Was there something that you studied in the offseason, watching game footage of yourself, that you thought, I've got to improve in this area, I've got to do a little bit more here, I'm happy in this area, I'm happy in that area? What did you want to go into this season that you really wanted to focus on and do better at?
I think it's just a big part for me is just playing with more confidence and being able to show off my ability, and obviously not holding back. So hopefully in the last few games I've been playing, it's been positive, and just keep pushing forward and not thinking too far ahead, and not thinking getting too down on myself. Just being confident and believing in what I can do, and let it show in the games.
Coach Biello, a former player himself, a guy that knows what it takes to win, a guy that's gone through the rigors himself. I'm sure that's got to be a positive as a former player. Now your head coach talking to you on a day-to-day basis, explaining what he wants from you and his teammates.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he knows the league. He's been around it forever, so it definitely helps. And I think he's got a lot of respect at the club with the players and the fans. So he's definitely a guy that all the players want to play for. So I think that's a big one, and everyone's got his respect right now. So I think we're in a good position.
Everyone in this Eastern Conference early on is jockeying for position. Kyle, everyone's pretty close. You see the Philadelphia Union sitting in second place, where last year they struggled. Every year since they've entered the league, they've never made the playoffs. This is a big year for them. You just played Chicago. They've had a lot of struggles recently, but they battled you from beginning to end last weekend. I think a lot of times people forget that the Eastern Conference is getting better and better, where a lot of times people just give the respect and love to the Western Conference. I think it's starting to swing. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think anywhere you go in this league, you're going to have to fight for 3 points, no matter how the team is doing at any given point. So obviously we're happy right now, and I think every team is tough to go and win, whether it's in the East or the West. But it's a long season, so we'll see. Hopefully, we're having the same conversation at the end of the year, and we're still at the top.
When do you want to know as a player? I had a number of goalkeepers on my show this year. I remember speaking last week to Joe Willis of Houston Dynamo. We spoke with Tim Malia of Sporting Kansas City about 10 days ago, and I asked them both, when do you want to know as a player that you're starting? 24 hours, 48 hours before, a week in advance? When do you want to know so you can mentally prepare for that challenge?
Obviously, you want some sort of notice, so that you can kind of get in the right mindset. But every coach is different, so you kind of just adapt to their style. So, I mean, obviously, personally, you like at least a day, but who knows? I mean, it changes, so kind of just got to adapt with the given situation.
Kyle, the NCAA has been an unbelievable feeder system for MLS. A lot of players have come out of that system and have gone on to success with different teams in MLS. But now we're starting to see in the last 4 to 5 years, players are coming from all over the world. Drogba, Piatti on your squad, Jovinko here, Bradley here, on and on, Kaká, Orlando, it continues on. Do you believe finally, for the first time that you've entered the league, going all over different cities in MLS, talking to other players, that the league is finally starting to get the respect and getting away from that title that used to be called the Retirement League?
No, I think it's with the guys the big names that we brought in, and them doing so well. I think that's definitely been a big push, but obviously it always just got to keep going. I think we are moving in the right direction. I don't think we're near where we want to be right now, but I think we're on the way. So I think it's definitely positive, and as long as these guys come over and they keep having performances like Giovinco or Didier has been doing, it's only good. I think it's only going to get better.
Lastly, before we let you go, Kyle, I've watched your career the last number of years, and you're a guy that likes to spray the ball around. You love to distribute that ball, and you love to make sure that those passes are precise and right on your teammate's foot. How hard is it for you to adjust week in and week out as a guy that's going to go in there in a city that maybe doesn't have a beautiful grass surface, and you're going to the astroturf, the fake grass as they call it, because the bounce is different? It's got to be harder for you to make that ball go the way you want it to go, square on that foot, because the bounce is going to be different compared to a grass field. How do you adjust to that?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, but we get a chance to train on the field, so you get used to it. And everyone, well, for the most part, we've played on turf before, so it's not the biggest shock. Obviously, we'd like to play on grass every single week, but it is what it is. And now hopefully with the weather, I think we're at Saputo now for the rest of the season, so we have a nice pitch to play on, so it'll be fun.
Is your dad making the trip out there to the 401 Derby to watch you guys play on the weekend?
Yeah, I have a couple friends and family out here, so it should be good.
So you'll be buying some extra tickets, I gather, at that point, Kyle.
Yeah, it's obviously a big one on the calendar every year, so.
Absolutely. Listen, Kyle, good luck. It should be a great atmosphere, as it always is in Montreal when TFC and Montreal get it on. And it's going to be great to watch these two battle it out, and especially in the season's end, if they're going to be in a semifinal together, even more better. Kyle, thanks again for making time. Good luck the rest of the season, and good luck this weekend, my friend.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Kyle Bekker, a friend of the show and an outstanding young man, a Canadian product, a guy that I'm sure will climb back onto the way of the Canadian men's national team. He's getting more and more starts, and this guy here is starting to get the trust and confidence of Coach Biello, and it will be great this weekend if he's able to start against TFC with the family and friends coming down to watch him. It should be a real electric atmosphere. Listen, we're going to